Well, it is here. Super Tuesday is tomorrow, and right now we are joined by political analyst John Keller. John, let's talk about the big vote. Yeah. We've got 14 states going tomorrow, and a couple of territories as well.
Right.
Of those states, which ones are you watching most closely?
Well, as a card-carrying local boy, of course, I'm interested in what Massachusetts does first and foremost. But after the events of the past 24 hours, there's more to that than just parochialism. Look, we here in Massachusetts could be a really good test of where Pete Buttigieg's voters are most likely to land. He pulled over 12% in this weekend's Suffolk WBZ Globe poll, with Amy Klobuchar getting another 5%. If a significant chunk of those votes follow their candidates and rally behind Joe Biden, who got 11% in our survey, he could clear the 15% threshold to win delegates and maybe even challenge Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren. Wouldn't that be something? And of course, we want to see if Warren can hold off Sanders and win her home state. Failure to do so would be a devastating blow to a campaign that really needs to win one.
So that's Massachusetts. What other states are you watching?
Well, Texas is the second biggest delegate prize tomorrow after California. And Liam, I think it'll be a good test of how strong the Sanders movement really is. Most polling there has shown Sanders with a solid lead, and a third of the primary voters are Latino, a key source of Sanders' support so far. But Biden is making his move there, showcasing the Buttigieg and Klobuchar endorsements at a rally in Dallas tonight. And an upset win by Biden, or even a close finish, could disrupt the Sanders game plan. Also, failure by Warren or Michael Bloomberg to get 15% and win delegates in Texas would be an ominous sign for them.
Bloomberg's real first test, the first time he's going to be on the ballot.
Yeah, right.
What state do you think will give us an early indication of how this thing's going to go?
Well, Virginia, the polls close at 7 o'clock, and the last opinion poll there showed a virtual tie between Biden, Bloomberg, and Sanders. That was 2 weeks ago. That's an eternity. A lot has happened. A Sanders win in Virginia would be a sign that Biden might be in for a long night, and vice versa.
That's a state Biden's got to win.
8 to 10, CBSN Boston, then 10 o'clock on TV 38 and 11 on WBZ.
We'll have it covered for all you political junkies out there. John, thank you. Paula, over to you.